when I started going to the Garden, because for me in New Jersey at the time, it was only where I lived, you could either get on the bus or take the train, 40 minutes. The train left you out right under Madison Square Garden. And my cousin, who turned me on to wrestling and weed and everything else to start with, we used to go every month. And see, the Garden, Rip, you know, they had blue laws there. You know what I'm talking about?
No, explain.
You know, the blue law, like they don't sell liquor on a Sunday in some states.
Oh yeah, you had the show had to be over by what, midnight?
Well, not just that. No lady wrestlers.
That's right. And the mask
no masks.
That's right.
No cage matches or chain gimmick matches. And one more thing that really broke my heart. You had to be 14.
Oh, yeah, you had to be 14 to go. Right.
Boxing or wrestling. Now, that was not enforced at every New York venue like Sunnyside Gardens, where my Uncle Henry got me tickets back in 1967. But for my 14th birthday, I begged him. My dad, he's like, all right, we'll go. It's Freddie Blassie came into the territory from LA.
Okay.
Did 3 TV matches, and it was the first time on TV. They didn't put up the X yet.
Right.
I saw blood. And I mean, so I remember who he wrestled. Mike Pappas, Thomas Marin, and I forget, Mike Conrad, I think was the third guy. But 3 weeks in a row, he does the biting gimmick. And meanwhile, I was watching on the Spanish channel. He was a baby.
He was a good. Yeah, I was gonna say he's a good guy, right? Because they turned. Yes, yeah, it's awesome.
So my dad takes me November 15th, 1971, and the main event, Blassie against Morales. I'm like, yes. And we go to the Garden. You know, typical WWF show. And my father's sitting there, he's laughing. And when the Morales, they used to put the main event on in the middle.
That's right, because there'd be a riot. Yeah.
Right. They wanted to make sure,
Whenever there's a hot finish, they'd put it on in the middle.
I went to most of the shows in the 70s, and I never saw a main event at the end. Never. So Morales Blassie. Well, the crowd was 90% Latino, specifically Puerto Rican, which was, you know, New York has a very large Puerto Rican population, and Morales is from Puerto Rico. He used to do the end of his interview in Spanish, like Bruno used to do it in Italian. And so it's time for the main event. You know, no music, no lighting, out walks Blassie. And I don't know if the Grand Wizard was with him or not, but regardless, out walks Blassie, and I stand up. And I was 14. My father grabs me by he goes, sit down, you're going to get us killed here.
Yeah.
He was right.
That's awesome.
But so I would go so then my cousin and I would go, and we would go every month. And as you said, McMahon Sr. would bring in, since they were showing the pro wrestling from LA and Florida, they would bring in Eddie Graham. They would bring in Boardman. They'd bring in whoever. Plus, and you know this, Vince McMahon was a member of the NWA.
NWA, right.
So they'd bring in Vern Gagne. They brought in Terry and Dory Funk. So, and they would get little to no reaction. You know, you had to be a magazine fan, which I was.
I said, get ready, get ready, get ready. I got the dots on. I got the elbow ready, baby. We're going to see it. Let's do it right now.